Alright, what's up? What's going on, world? Welcome to the 8th episode, or installment, depending on how you ever say stuff, of Table Talk. Working title still. We're just mass-producing these, so tonight we are still Table Talk. So tonight we have, Serena had brought up, and I had actually brought up in the first episode, we kind of wanted to talk about Mandela effects. They kind of enrage Corey for whatever reason, so...
Because I don't understand them, and things I don't understand enrage me.
Exactly, so he doesn't understand.
Look at all this enragement.
So Serena and I are going to try and explain it. I basically have a definition right here for the Mandela effect. This is something that's fascinated me for a while, and I think Serena as well. A Mandela effect is an observed phenomenon in which a large segment of population misremembers a significant event or shares a memory of an event that actually didn't occur. So what we've done is we've brought up a page of different Mandela effects images and stuff for us to look through. We've got a couple lists here, and we're just going to talk about ones that stick out to us the most, the ones that like maybe we have that we don't remember the same or like could possibly dispute. Serena, if you want, kick one off or something. I think you and Corey are looking at the same images, so
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, a couple of the Mandela effects that like blew my mind, like the first time.
Whoops.
The first time that this came a thing
What?
was the peanut butter Jiffy.
yeah, that one was weird for me too.
Like,
Because I definitely... Just go ahead.
no, it's just like I know people are like there's Jif and there's Skippy and that's where you get the misremembering, but like I remember as a kid, it wasn't like these. It wasn't Jif.
Can you poke at it a little harder?
It wasn't Jif. It was Jiffy, and then had since changed it to Jif.
Yeah, I actually remember it the same way as you do. Is like, I do feel like as a kid, like my parents used peanut butter quite a bit. Peanut butter and jellies we had all the time as kids. But like, I feel like I also remembered it as Jiffy, and we've come to find out that no such product of peanut butter has ever existed. It's as far as we know, or like however with the Mandela effect they say like as it is right now, it's only Jif, and it's only ever been Jif.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you remember, Corey?
Peanut butter and dog memories?
Peanut butter jelly time.
Tell us about the buttons.
The buttons! Mickey Mouse and his goddamn buttons!
Yeah, so...
No, real quick, back to the peanut butter. No, I actually don't misremember because I'm not fucking 80. I just remember it as Jif and Skippy and Peter Pan and whatever the fucking generic one that we bought was. Meyer.
So he remembers only Jif, and we remember Jiffy.
Yep.
So, let's touch on another one.
Those are fillers. That's patented filler right there.
I'm gonna turn it into a dubstep song one day.
Please
right
do.
Before the drop.
So wait, like
this Subway one.
Yes.
Subway.
The one that you kept like mentioning was obviously Mickey Mouse's like.
Well, that's because that was the example that was provided to me over and over again.
What do you remember?
Everything and nothing.
No, do you remember?
What?
Do you remember the straps or no straps?
The early Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Like the black and white cartoon when he's on the boat. The boat. I believe he was in suspenders. Just regular suspenders and shorts.
Let's look that up because I don't know what it is because it could be honestly any of the two.
Now, any of the new Mickey Mouse, I don't know. I haven't watched Disney Channel since a whole 5 minutes.
It's Steamboat Willie is what you're thinking of.
Yes.
Oh, that really old animation.
I think it's one of the first.
It is. That's where he was born.
Really? On the boat?
As Mickey Mouse.
And he doesn't have suspenders.
He doesn't have them.
He does not?
He does not.
Huh.
He just has the shorts with the little like buttons, but there's no suspenders.
It's so weird. Because I swear, I think I've even told you before, Serena, but like I swear when I was a kid, like I actually had like a Mickey Mouse doll. I was probably like 4 or 5 or whatever, but like I feel like I so specifically remember that having suspenders. Like it's so weird to think that, I don't know, you just think something's completely one way and it's not, and it's such a slight adjustment that it's weird.
Enough to piss me off?
Well, it makes me question my own reality sometimes, as weird as that sounds, just because it's like,
ow, Jesus,
there's
what are you
one
doing?
with suspenders right there.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them, so maybe.
And that may be where it comes from. I remember my brother I never lived in a house. Is his childhood room? We used to go up to the property a lot. Had all the Disney characters painted in, I don't know what size, but pretty large sizes on his room. And I swear Mickey Mouse has suspenders in that painting. But that's not a Disney painting. That's nothing like that. And that could be where it all comes from.
Well, that
one I can let go.
I think that's the thing. Like, obviously, we're looking at Mickey Mouse toys, and some of the toys have the suspenders, and some of them
Mouse
don't.
Craminator 8000.
And I think that's where the problem comes, is like, because you're getting these toys with the Mickey Mouse having suspenders, but the cartoon doesn't have it, and I think that's why people are remembering the suspenders, because they remember the toy or something, or a drawing with the suspenders, but he never actually had it.
One of the ones that always really got me too was and I feel like I've grown up saying this, but like it's not actually said in Star Wars where Darth Vader goes, "Luke, I am your father." Like, that really fucked me up to know that that's not in the movie. He says,
it's not.
He says, "No, I am your father."
Yeah, he just says, "I'm your father."
The thing is, like, I've heard even other people say that so much. Like, the whole "Luke, I am your father" thing. It's like, is that just like remembered wrong and just perpetually like remembered wrong and just pressed further and pressed further? Like, there was like another saying one. I can't think of it right now.
The one where that actress won that award, and she's like,
"Oh, Sally Field, yeah, you like me, you really like me," but that's not what she said.
Mm-hmm.
That was Sally Field?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
There's actually one going on with her name right now too, where it's like people are remembering it as Sally Fields, isn't it? Weren't you telling me that?
Yeah, Sally Fields.
I honestly
versus Sally Field.
But the thing is, like, the thing that also throws me off about the Mandela effect is just like I said, like, it's usually so small. You know what I mean? Like, look at the Fruit Loops and look at the Berenstain Bears. It's like one letter, and again, like, I want to believe that something cool could be happening with this, but again, like, memory is very faulty. You know what I mean? So what you remember as
I refuse to get old.
What you remember as like a kid and stuff, like, it's, you know, it's really just it's chemical imprints on meat in your head. You know, it's like it's bound to go away.
You talk about the meat in my head.
I'm just saying, like, it's like, so, you know, like, how much can you trust memories? Like, I'm, you know, going on 31 this year, and like most of the stuff we're talking about and the stuff that like fucks me up with these Mandela effects is usually stuff that, like, you know, like, I thought I knew for certain as a kid, but then it just makes me again like question how much like I really paid attention to as a kid. You know, you're not that perceptive as a child. You're not like really retaining, you know, it's more just, I don't know, it's like not making that imprint or something, but it's hard to say.
You want to know what's really freaky?
What's really freaky? Syphilis.
It's a callback. I was down the YouTube rabbit hole of Mandela effects a couple days ago.
Okay.
And it was one of the videos that I had rewatched, and it was like asking questions like, do you remember it this way or this way? And one of the really freaky ones was how many states are in America? And my brain, for some reason, said both 50 and 52. Which is weird, because some people remember there's 52 states. And I was thinking, why is it that I feel like there's 52 states when I know that I've learned in you know, middle school that it's been 50 states this entire time? But why does it feel right to say both 50 and 52? I couldn't like wrap my head around it, so maybe I was like, okay, maybe I'm thinking the 52 because like Hawaii and Alaska are states, but they're not connected, and maybe my brain's just like, you know,
scrambled it.
Right. I couldn't figure it out, but it's like both of them sound right to me.
I'm trying. I can't.
The number of states
I disagree.
The number of states always fucked me up too, because for some reason when I also heard of that same thing, like right now I know for certain that is 50, but when I also went through that same Mandela effect of questioning, I for some reason wanted to say I remembered as a child being taught 51. So like hearing 50 didn't even sound right to me, and I was just like, I feel like there should be like one more on there or something. Like there's another like interesting one. Have you seen the one where it's like what's the movie? Dazed and Confused. Mm-hmm. There's Dazed and Confused. There's actually a part where one of the kids in class spins a globe and he like stops it, and there's Australia, and to the left of Australia there's like this landmass, and like people are like, that doesn't exist, like why would that be showing up on a globe in this really old ass movie, like, and if you look at it, it's weird, like it, and there's actually been like a lot of that too, like where with like places that like have shown up in maps before, like don't anymore, or just like land masses just kind of just disappear. It's really interesting.
Think the nuclear bomb for that?
It's really interesting actually. That one kind of got me too, because it's just like it's right off the like left coast, so it's obviously not New Zealand, because in the image there's Australia and New Zealand to the right of it, but there's like this landmass to the left, and they like stop on it, and people are like, what is this? Like where did this come from? Like why would this be on an old globe or something? It's really weird.
That is interesting. I've never seen that movie, so I can only just imagine
I'm
what
trying
that
to pull it
like.
up right now.
I
Keep talking.
well, I was also waiting to see this too. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of different ones. Like Serena was showing me one with, see it, right to the left of Australia, right there.
Oh, this?
Yes. What is that?
I don't know. The
That's-
globe's still spinning, so it doesn't hold relevancy for me yet.
It's really interesting. It's like a whole other island. And like, what could that be? It's like Australia. It's like Australia's Australia.
It does look like a miniature Australia.
And isn't that so bizarre though? Like, and when did this movie come out? It was like probably,
I think early 90s.
Really? I was thinking like, no, or yeah, because it was trying to be set in the 70s. So.
Yes. Because it had her. I can't think of her name. She's in the.
See? Isn't that weird?
There's definitely no.
Serena's looking at a map of the world as we know it right now. There's nothing to the left of Australia.
Right.
So it's just.
I don't know. It doesn't bug me the way.
I just think it's so strange, because I mean, like, what could that possibly be? Like, what could have possibly happened to it? Like, and then at the same time, like, I don't know. Like, it's weird, and that also makes me think that could that actually be in the world, and it's just like for some reason it's not listed on maps anymore, and then you could just die. That I'm not trying to give anybody fuel for like a fucking the government making the maps and making the conspiracy.
Well, like in this one, it has nothing to do with Dazed and Confused. There's something there too.
That just looks like a print.
But it looks like a scale.
That's what I meant. Like
That's what I'm
key or
wondering.
something.
And that thing, if that's not like a scale, that it's just moving so fast in the movie, you can't, like this. See how this is right here next to Australia? If that was spinning like it is in the movie, that would look like a continent.
Well, that's possible. That's totally
Like,
possible.
well, that's the same one. But like that, it just doesn't have,
It doesn't hold weight for you.
no.
Because you think it can be explained away.
Well-
Right, and most things can be.
Here's sorry.
You could.
Here's the island left of Australia, and it says Mandela effects like right there. Just looking at the map though, and obviously this is one in a bunch that I just looked at, but it's not like solely on that one scene in that movie. Like,
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I think it's when you have any map, you're gonna have a scale. We can agree with that, right? And on a globe, you just had nowhere else to put it, so let's put it right in the middle of the frickin' Indian Ocean. Ta-da! That's not the Indian Ocean, I know that. But, let's just find a big empty space to put your scale. And that was just a mass-produced thing. And that image that you just showed me is just some Google image that anyone could have made. So, like, now the internet has its hands and everything. You can change what people are looking at to make them perceive your own reality. And that, for me, is just like...
I can definitely see Corey's argument. I can see both sides, I guess. Like, it's definitely comparable to, but at the same time, there's, like he also said, there's just no way to tell while it's spinning. It looks like it could be an island, but then again, compared to the other globe that he brought up, it does also look like it could be like a key or a scale or something.
Right, and that's... I mean, with no definitive...
It kind of still looks like an island to me, but again, you did just show that other like thing
right.
that was like
I mean,
the landmass, and they're like showing like the not tectonic, but like the topography, like the
Yeah.
depth and stuff with that
And that's
scale.
just, I mean, take a look at Japan. There's no Japan in that picture. Fucking Mandela effect.
Yes, there
Japan
is.
didn't.
I mean, I can.
But you could barely see it. But that, and to me, that could be another argument. Like, oh, Japan didn't exist in 1984 when they made this.
Mandingo effect.
Mandingo.
That's more my conversation.
If it didn't hold so much, never mind.
Correct. And that's to me, none of it holds any weight, so I'm just like,
You know what's funny, and I don't know why we got talking about the, or well, like, I don't know why talking about this made me think of this, but I know you've seen this, and do you remember? I don't think it's exactly a Mandela effect, but it tripped me out when we found it out when we were watching weird videos. Do you remember that video that said, in all the time that Judge Judy's been on the air, she's never banged her gavel?
Oh my god.
Do you remember that? In every episode of Judge Judy, she has never once banged her gavel. Do you remember watching that video with me?
Yeah, because that blew my mind.
Because you looked deep into it, and it's true.
Right.
Like, it's so weird.
Like, I remember watching Judge Judy and be like, this fucking bitch is crazy. And every time she was done saying what she had to say, hit her gavel and left the room. And then, like, now it's like, nope, she's never done that.
Never done that.
And it's like, what?
I know. That's what gets me, too. Because I feel like I definitely remember banging her gavel, too. Like, she was very fucking forward with it.
see, and no, I disagree.
Really?
Yeah, I remember being a kid, because that was Granny's favorite show, was Judge Judy, and it was just on 24/7 in my household. And I remember asking her, like, well, if she doesn't hit her hammer, does that, is it legal? Like, because I thought that was the judge's legality. It's like a big stamp on a piece of paper was the gavel being hit. It's just to demonstrate
I don't know,
gavels.
The only reason why I like freaked out as much as I did is because I remember an episode of Judge Judy where, like, I don't know if it was like coming up next, and you see like preview of like what comes next to the courtroom or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember her like hitting her gavel, like trying to shut up people, like, hey, I'm the judge, stop talking type deal. And I remember her hitting the gavel because it was like she's acting like a fucking 5-year-old, and I was like, what the hell is this show?
I honestly, like, it tripped me out, too, just to find out that, because I would assume as a judge, she would eventually bang her gavel.
Yeah.
I can't really weigh in on that one, though. Like, it tripped me out to find out, but I never really watched enough Judge Judy to be like, oh, I could say for certain this way or the other way.
I mean, yeah. Again, this is to me, everything can be explained for the most part.
What else we got? Anything else looking through? Tickle anybody's fancy?
I mean, there's a lot of things that are here about the Berenstein Bears, which
That
we've had
actually,
that
like,
argument.
I feel like even before that was really a thing. I remember the first. This is actually a cool story. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's cool.
This is actually a cool story though. But the first time I ever heard of, like, not even the Mandela effect, because I didn't know it had a name until much later, or wasn't named till much later. But 3 years ago, when I was living at 505, before Serena like came down to live with me or whatever, just as a random thing to do day, I took a bunch of mushrooms and I went floating, like tubing down the river with like most of the housemates. And I'll never forget because like I was talking with this girl, Amy, this blonde girl, Amy, and we were just floating like next to each other, chat and shit. And for some reason I said the Berenstein Bears, and that is always the way I had remembered it. And she just like smiled at me and she's like, that's not what it actually is though. And I was like, no way. I was like, you're for real? And she's like, no. She's like, totally look it up. And I went home and like just rocked my world. Like, I literally like texted my mom and I was like, will you fucking send me pictures of like those books with the bears that I read as a kid? And she still had some, and she sent it, and it was still the A. And I was like, I remember it being an E so vividly. And like I said, I didn't even know what a Mandela effect was at the time. It wasn't until like a couple years later that I found out that there's a ton of them. But oh my god, it blew my mind to think that something I could have thought so much as fact my whole life, like fact. Like, if you would ask me up until that point where she had just like fucking got me questioning everything, I would have told you like, no, it's absolutely. And
see, and that one doesn't hold water for me just because I can't spell.
I don't know. Serena was showing me like, do you remember 111
Helen Keller?
Hey buddy, water. But like we were talking the other day, she was showing me a couple like, do you remember your heart being on the left side of your chest?
Your heart?
Yeah. Like when you take off your hat and you like put your hat.
Yeah, your heart's like right here.
Well, it's actually the center.
Yeah,
it's like dead center.
Right here. It's just
see, but
off
I always
to the
thought
left.
it was like off to the left.
Yeah, it's everyone. It's exaggerated as a kid when you're saying the Pledge of Allegiance, which isn't a thing anymore. But
and then like the stomach has changed position, and then the rib thing was weird. But
what about the ribs?
Like they were saying that like the way ribs used to have like these ones at the bottom, like 2 or 3 that weren't like really attached to the cage, and like those aren't there anymore.
They're all attached.
Yeah, everything is attached, and it's weird. It's just
see that one you might be onto something. Like you might have me hooked there.
Why? Because you remember the like floating ones?
I remember, I think, one floating one that like only comes
Well, see,
here.
the thing that fucked me up is like after we talked about the ribs one, I actually hit up my mom because my mom's a nurse, and I was like, rib cage, and I told her about the floating thing, and she's like, well, you do have 2 or 3 floating in the back.
Yeah, they don't wrap all the way around.
Right, but
Okay.
I was like, I feel like I remember them in the front, but again, that could just be a misconception explained away. But I always thought you had, but I mean, even to look at these
'cause
images
right-
now, you can see them in the back, and they kind of look like they're just part of the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ribs kind of fucked me up too. The stomach, not so much. The heart, a little bit, but it's just weird. Like it just, again, like the way we remember things and the way things actually are. I mean, is that just people getting dumber? Is it just people like
It feels that way.
believing like more and more like produced, just like
Well, and
we're
that's
basically fed this?
Where I take issue with it is because there's so much that can be changed and produced now that and everyone's just like, it's on the internet, it's true. It's like, fucking
You
relax.
can sell a lot as fact these days.
Exactly, and so many people are so eager to take everything you say as fact that people fact check. Oh my gosh, the whole thing with Facebook and all the like the police brutality crap, and then it's just 10 minutes of a 40-minute video where 3 minutes before the video started, somebody's shooting at the cops and now he's beating their ass, and it's like, well, that's police brutality. No, he's protecting himself. It's just there's so much you can do with limiting information, zooming in on information just to make people see the way that you want them to see it.
Absolutely. Context is what you're basically.
Yeah.
How it's presented to you in that context.
Media does that all the time.
And exactly. And
absolutely.
that's my thing is question everything. Don't just, okay, yep, it's on the news, it's true. Yeah, it's raining outside. Yeah, it's because it's fucking raining. Go outside and hold your hand out. Yep, it's rain. Hold it out longer. That's lightning. Hang on.
When Ryan and I
And Franklin.
when Ryan and I started getting into the
James
Mandela
Franklin?
effect, that's what happened. Like, I forget how we even stumbled on it, but then we like looked into it. Like, no, we have to be right, and that's like we did question it, and then we realized that other people thought the way we did, or thought it a different way. So it's just like it's like this phenomenon that's like most of us cannot figure out. And then science is like, oh, you're just misremembering, and maybe that's what it is. But right now it's like it's affecting so many people that there has to be something else going on.
See, and I can't buy into that. I can't. Like, Again, question everything. That's just my thing. Like, don't take one person's word for it. I just feel that there's so many people blindly following things that you can make people misremember. And it's just, and I'm not calling into question and I'm not calling out people. I'm just saying you've got people that have far greater skill sets than your own just to put the time in to make these things. And I'm not saying none of it exists. There's a lot that exists. Things have changed. There's a lot of examples here about products. I don't even know where they went, but there's products and it was the dash here, was the dash there. It was both. I remember as a kid that I think it was Kit Kat. Did it have the dash or didn't? Well, when I was younger, it had the dash, but it was in a completely different font than what you're presenting it. And sometime in the late 90s, early 2000s, they changed their font and format, and they got rid of the dash. They stylized it. Like, things change. nothing's
do
gonna stay
change.
the same for 20 years.
That's true. I mean, if I was going to really get into why I personally believe the Mandela effect is real or is happening, it would take us down quite a deep rabbit hole. But I mean, like, basically suffice it to say that a quick rundown is I personally am a believer in, like, infinite other universes.
Okay.
I am, like, 100%. Like, things that I've fucking done in my life, and, like, again, not to ever, like, go back to drugs, like, drugs are the things that open my eyes, but I have had some very eye-opening experiences with different, psychotropics, and I really do think that at any 1 second, there is a million other universes, like, kind of caught in that same second with different outcomes, and I personally believe that it's easy to slip in and out of different ones because they're so close. Like, if you really choose to believe in, like, infinite other universes and those theories, like, they're, infinite. Like, it's literally happening this second of an infinite amount, and again, like, it's just, we are in one consciousness as we know it, what we experience on this playing field with our, our mind's eye and our eyes. We only are able to see one at a time, the one that we're currently in.
Right.
So for me, when I see a Mandela effect, some I think are kind of laughable and questionable, but some I also think that, again, like the Australia thing, or even the like the thing it's named after, like Nelson Mandela, like, that also kind of fucked me up because, like, I feel like I remembered in school that he had died. Like, I feel like I remember reading that in history books, and it wasn't until recently that people are like, he just died.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and again, like, I think that's why groups of people, because there's so many people, and again, like, every person's experienced it differently, like, I think in a weird way we can semi-phase shift in and out of different ones. And that's why some people remember it one way and some people remember it another way. That's always been my belief. It's a little far-fetched, it's a little hooey, but again, like, I've seen, basically, to me it comes back to DMT. Like, DMT is a drug that I experimented with, and it's not something that most people get a chance to use or try, and it literally activates your pineal gland while you're awake, which does not ever happen while you're awake. It simulates dreaming in the living world, and, like, I've seen so many different dreams or different planes of what I would call, like, reality or existence, that I think that they're so close and interconnected that, like, our brains just can't perceive them in this plane at this given time, and I think it's easy to phase in and out because of that.
See, I can get behind that much more than I can get behind this Mandela effect thing, because it's just, to me, it's presented in a way that, like, somebody's going back and, yeah, and that's the thing. Conspiracies, for one, piss me off. I don't know. I mean, they do. They do. I mean, I'm sure you guys noticed. What?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
She thinks she knows that person.
No, I find it funny that, like, it's like things that intrigue me pisses you off. You're like, if I don't understand it, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it.
Because in reality, it's not to toot my own horn. There's not a lot that I don't understand. There are things that most people don't get. Electricity. A lot of people don't understand electricity, and I get that. And there is just, I pride myself on being a hands-on person. If I can touch it, I can figure it out. That's just me. Stuff that is born and bred on the internet, I can't touch it. I can't figure it out. And when I do, and then people are like, no, you're wrong, and this is your evidence, is an episode of The Simpsons where Bart's holding a Bernstein Bears thing. I'm like, that's your fucking evidence? That's where your go-to is? The fucking Simpsons? No one can photo edit that. I'm just, I pride myself on that and understanding what I believe. And then for somebody to have an event that comes through and, like, no, everything you know is wrong, man. Someone's going through and altering history. And, yeah, you're an idiot. Show me the guy that's figured out time travel. I want to understand that now. And it's well, here, we'll show you. Here's the Bernstein Bears. Do you remember?
This left field thing.
Right, and that's, if it was something like
kind of like
the Nelson Mandela thing, I could see. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. What he's actually making me think of is, like, how we were watching the game Grumps, and they were laughing at people that, like, use numerology, like, because they'd be like there was 3 people on, like 3 main characters on All in the Family. Well, a family, like usually has 4 people. Like 3 divided by 4 is like 75%, and you know what I mean. Like you can make numbers and images say and be anything you want them to. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So there is an argument to be made for that. And I do gotta kind of side with Corey on that. Like, again, I do have my own firmly held beliefs in what it is, but I do also agree that a lot of what you're presented in this is easily manipulated information. And really, usually, again, it's just like 1 or 2 things off. A letter, like a punctuation mark or something. Very trivial things that, again, like, it's super easy to question those things.
I mean, if it was something more serious, for fuck's sake, the examples they're giving me are, again, the Berenstain Bears, Looney Tunes, Oscar Mayer, and Oscar Mayer, which I don't know what the fuck Oscar Mayer is. A globe,
Your body
snacks,
is baloney, man.
the Vovo symbol, which somebody's made.
It's Oscar John Mayer. Your body is baloney, man. Thank you. I thought you missed it, and I was like, you know what? I gotta do that one more time just for Corey.
Oh, well done.
Oh, thank you.
But if it was a more prevalent example, something like I said, if it was just Nelson Mandela and the thought that he died, which I don't know where anybody come up with that until he died. I don't know if it's just that he lost relevance or what, but I don't know where. I could see someone like, oh no, yeah, you misremembered that. He was still alive until 10 minutes ago. I could see that, but I could care less about the Berenstain Bears and Looney Tunes and what Kit Kat looked like back in the day. Still tasted good. I'll sing you the damn song if you want. I remember.
Your body is baloney, man.
I'm just, I think what irritates me, it's not this. It's not the... Sorry. It's not the pushing of misremembrance and trying to twist your brains. Obviously, someone's got far more time here than I do to make up things and to try to push me to think one way. Did Pikachu's tail have a brown stripe on the end of it? Did Curious George even have a tail? No, he didn't. You got far more time to ask these questions. Go out, get a job, do stuff. Millennials.
All right, guys. So that's the end of this episode of Table Talk. And did you have anything else you want to say, babe? You've been kind of...
I was just gonna say, you're either gonna make a lot of friends or a lot of enemies.
Yeah.
No,
both, honestly.
No, and that's, again, every episode now.
Well, again,
I have to say, I don't have a problem with millennials and things like that. I'm just saying that this effect, quote unquote, air quotes, I can't air quote, is now. Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's the end of this episode of episode 8, Table Talk. A little bit about Mandela effects. So if you guys want to weigh in, let us know. Do you have any Mandela effects that have affected you, or something that you remember differently that isn't the way it is today? Let us know in the comments below. As always, be sure to thumb up this video, like it, help us out, and also share it, guys. Like, if you really enjoy these episodes, please share them with other people. The more views we get, like, the better we can the more people we can reach, really. So as always, I'm gonna let Corey do his sign off with the email and everything, and we'll be back in just a second with Hypergraph.
Sorry, yeah. If you have any Mandela effects that you think might convince me that hold water, please send them. Anything. We said something, makes you have a story, you misremembered, deja vu, anything, let us know. Drop us a line at the email. It's
HLSZ3show@yahoo.com.
That's the letters HLSZ, the number 3, and the letter SHOW@yahoo.com.
Yep, and like he said, guys, be sure to send us an email. We're actually have been kicking around ideas of possibly doing more, again, like, the more you interact with us, the more ideas you guys give us through emails and stuff. We can do more viewer requested items in episodes, or perhaps even, again, like Corey said, if you have a story that you want to share or something, please let us know. We're never afraid to read them on the air with you guys. So As always, we hope that you have enjoyed these last 4 episodes. This is kind of like the last episode in the, I don't want to say trilogy, saga. I guess the saga of tonight.
Saga
Tonight
of
has
us.
been quite a saga in a lot of different ways. We've gone a lot of different places, and again, we want to just thank you for your ears and your hearts. So as always, thanks for helping by listening. Thanks for helping by sharing. And this is Hypergraphia.
Lady S.
King size.
Signing off for the night, guys, and we'll be back with more episodes very soon. Thanks again.